Hello, I'm Dr. Miller. Even though the bubonic plague was most prevalent in the 14th century, it is still around today. There is no cure for this disease after you start experiencing symptoms. Here's an example of someone that has waited too long to get help. Hey, I'm Dr. Miller. How are you feeling?
Not great.
So what symptoms are you currently experiencing?
I'm currently experiencing an intense fever and headache. I also have chills, vomiting, and have had a desire to sleep. There's also boils all over my body.
I think you are experiencing symptoms from Yersinia pestis, a disease called the bubonic plague.
Well, what is that? Where did it come from? Is there any treatment methods?
The bubonic plague originated in Europe and Asia. It was commonly called the Black Death, and it wiped out half of Europe. It is now most common in Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona. There are antibiotics that I could have given you after you were infected, but before you show symptoms. I can't do that anymore, so let me take a blood sample to show my lab technician. We'll see what we can do for you.
Hello, I'm the lab technician. I ran the tests on your blood. The bacteria that's in your blood is ovular with a slightly bumpy texture, like this. We're now certain that you have Yersinia pestis. It's transmitted through rats and fleas. Have you been in contact with either of those that you know of?
Well, my basement might be inhabited by rats. I'm a hoarder. I also have a pet rat.
I'm going to go back to the lab and see if there's anything I can do for you.
And if you don't mind, I'm going to check out your boils. Your boils are to a point where treatment may not be available.
I'm sorry, I've looked into it and you've waited too long to get help. I can give you some pain medication, but beyond that, I can't do anything for you.
Wow, that was real sad. Now here's more information from our lab technician.
The bubonic plague was discovered by Alexander Yersin, who found the bacillus Yersinia pestis. It first appeared in small outbreaks throughout China, India, Persia, Syria, and Egypt. It traveled through rats and fleas in what was called the Great Pestilence until it reached Sicily in Europe. Patient Zero arrived on one of 12 Genoese trading ships at Messina Harbor in Sicily. The arrival of the Black Death on the Sicilian harbors began a pandemic that ended up killing 60% of Europe in just 4 years and killed 200 million people worldwide. As Dr. Miller said earlier, the bubonic plague is still an issue today. Oh, what's that? I got an email from heaven!
Hi, I'm Amanda, and I'm a victim of the bubonic plague. My illness was caused by an infectious rat flea, but there are other ways to get this disease. This disease can also be airborne. It can transfer through insect bites, rodents, bodily fluids, and any human contact. I don't know when I got infected, but I know it can take 2 to 6 days before people start to show symptoms. Their symptoms include a fever, vomiting, chills, muscle pains, bleeding in the lungs, mental disorientation, a desire to sleep, and the swelling of your lymph nodes in your armpits, legs, neck, and groin. But symptoms vary depending on the person. My boils went through different stages. They started off red and then quickly turned purple and black. Shortly after my visit with Dr. Miller, they began to swell uncontrollably until they finally burst, resulting in my death.